Based on the picture that I just took, when I looked at it, I determined that I was putting my hair up into a ponytail. And I know that that's not what I was doing. But what did you think? I was taking the hair from behind my glasses and remembered that I wasn't wearing my regular glasses, and then I had to switch them. So I was wrong. You were probably wrong. You might have been a little bit right, but did you know that it's because I was taking my sunglasses off? Because that is ultimately what, when I did this, that moment that was caught in that picture that you couldn't see because I have resting bitch face, but I know that that was the moment because I hit this. I feel like that was a really profound statement. I'm going to sit on that for a second, which, by the way, when I take my glasses off, it's because I'm like, damn. Did you need to know that, by the way? No. You don't need to know when something is profound to me. Just like I don't need to know if something is profound to you. I do know because I get followers who continually watch my programming, which means either they see something they like and they want to continue seeing it, they hear something they like and want to hear more, or they, I don't know, tell me your reason. This will be an interview for you too, because this is my thesis that I'm writing. I won't tell you the title just yet because it's a work in progress, but it is about love, which is a big concept. So I guess I'm doing philosophy as an adult. I did not take philosophy in college because it used to make me dizzy. It still does. But now it makes me dizzy. And I always think that it's like a spirit guiding me in a different direction. Maybe it is. I still feel like that's right. But it used to be because I would get so confused. I would go circle, 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 and then I'd be like scared, and then I would run away from it. So that might have been a spirit guiding me in a different direction too. But at the time, my brain was what was ultimately taking me into the dizzy. And I knew that that was what made me dizzy, because it wasn't a real dizzy. It was a confused and oh my God, I feel like I'm going to fall off the face of the earth if I do this. Because I was exaggerating and putting it into physical terms. Whereas now I get physically dizzy and have to sit down. Now, when I told my psychiatrist that, I got an immediate walk down to Johnson's Health Center and an MRI ordered for a brain tumor, which I agree with that assessment, because I said, oh yeah, they told me when I did that Lupron injection when I was 17 that I would most likely get a brain tumor. It was a side effect, not an interaction, adverse reaction, potential hazard. It was a side effect. Just like how growing 4 inches, 4 to 6, that's what they told me. But they said mostly with boys. I grew 4, 3, 3.5. It was 3.5. I remember because I didn't like that I was a half inch. So I would say I was 5'6", but I was 5'6.5". Hi, Thomas. See, and this confuses me, by the way. It doesn't tell me. Now it's saying you're watching. But sometimes it tells me no one's watching, and then I'll see like comments, and I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that? But I know that you are watching because we were just messaging on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. I would like to interview you. Is that all right with you? Just so that we can make sure that everybody's clear. You know that I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm specifically looking for your answer right now, but I have invited the audience because you just started watching. So I don't know that you watched that part. You didn't. Thank you. I've asked them to answer some of these questions as well. Now, if you want to answer them publicly, you can. If you do not, I don't know if there's a message part on this, but ultimately right now I'm looking for just face value data, not thinking about me and who I am, looking at me as a stranger that you don't know, as just asking you these questions. Thomas, you know me slightly better than that. So I feel okay with this, but already you know me too well. So let's just go ahead and say, for empirical purposes and data purposes, you already are not in a double-blind study. Fuck it, I don't care, because this is not a real thing. This is for me. So you said go ahead. Here's my problem. Sometimes I forget the question that I asked you. So maybe when you answer a question, just because I don't watch along with it, I would be reading the comments, say, like, answer, and then to the question, blah, blah, blah. And that would help me out. Thank you. So my first question for you, yours is a little bit easier because I'm sitting here going to read this text. I sent a friend of mine who is a male a text message, a picture of some text messages that I'd sent to my boyfriend at the time. And it starts with 1423 is what I said. He said, let me see what I can do. I said, do not call an ambulance. I will not go. I have other people to call, but I can't. Malia is a stupid cunt, which, sorry, Malia, no, you're not. Please don't let me die. 911 now. 911 now. Help me, please. Please help me. Oh my God, Dave, please. Or it says pleaded. So, oh my God, Dave pleaded. Sounds like I'm narrating. So when I sent him that screenshot, his immediate response, and I imagine because it was only a few minutes and he doesn't usually check his phone all the time. So for him, that's pretty immediate. What is that? I said, never mind. I need to die. It's a migraine, sudden onset, new muscle twitching. But my boyfriend is calling me a drama queen. He said, wow, which is funny. So last night, after I felt better, I said, I'm sorry I bothered you. I texted anyone I could who had a car and could come and get me. So then today I said, hey, can I ask you a few basic, simple questions for an article? You're honest and I appreciate it, but I'm not intending to quote you, which is why I haven't said who this is. I might be upset with what you say, but I don't hold grudges, and this is for educational purposes. So I'd rather just get your data and keep it moving. That cool? And then he said, depends. And then said, you're funny. And that changed everything. I said, so I had already written out all the questions. So here's what I'm going to ask you, Thomas, because all of that was to kind of get to a purpose. But when he said, you're funny, I was like, okay. I don't know what point I'm getting. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what a question I'm asking. So to me, when he said, you're funny, nothing about what I said was funny just now. I asked a question. I complimented him, which maybe that's why he complimented me and said, you're funny. I gave him, I might be upset with what you say, so I'm telling him, be honest, please. This is educational. I'd rather just get the data and keep it moving. So for me personally, that meant just answer the fucking question. Don't try to pander to me because I'm a woman. That's what I mean when I say that. Usually he's somebody who knows me well enough that he probably got that and read between the lines. And probably said, you're funny, because it's like, because he's always like, you're so weird. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, I like it though, but you're annoying. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I'm not like most women, is my impression that I get from men. So first question, Thomas. Do you feel like I am different from other women that you encounter on a regular basis? And and I'm saying, just in general, would you say that I'm different from most of the women? And then by different, please let me know, or excuse me, by different, I mean personality wise. I don't care to know physical stuff at all. I'm not interested in that part at all, because it's actually comical to me how many men are ignorant of the point that I'm trying to get at. So not really. You seem filled with energy. I like that you elaborated on that. So you find most women have the same kind of personality in terms of, okay, cool. Do you feel like the things that I talk about are what most women talk about when they're speaking in a setting where multiple people could hear them, but they're not addressing anyone in particular? They're just ranting and raving. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He said, I guess. And I agree with you as well. That's why I was sitting here and I was like, yeah, I guess in that way I am like most women. That's good to know when I'm ranting and raving. Now, you don't know me well, Thomas. So here, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. That's how I talk all the time. I generally do not like to speak to people one-on-one individually until I already can get a sense when I'm speaking in general terms about who they are as a person. I can get, so for instance, when I talked about being raped when I was in jail, a bunch of the COs would go, oh, and I'm like, all right, I know which ones have feeling. That word invokes something inside of them that they can't even keep it to them fucking selves. I like, for those guys, I don't like to continue torturing them. I let them loose. Bye. And most of the time they don't want me anymore anyway, because they just heard the word rape. So if that wasn't a social setting, most of those guys are like, damaged goods. I'm just being honest. By the way, that would hurt me more than anybody else or somebody else who's a victim of rape. And I'm sorry if that does hurt you. I unfortunately don't share the rape story with too many people. That's actually something that I did strategically because I was trying to weed out the people in my life who were only in it because they wanted me. I wouldn't call a rape victim damaged goods. That's fucked up. Okay. I see what you're saying. I agree with you. It is fucked up. I agree. Had I not been told that specifically by somebody one time, I would never have used those words ever to describe a rape victim. But a man, when I said I was raped, this was back the very first time I was raped, which was when I was 16. I was saying it to somebody at a party, and he said, why would you tell people that? You're damaged goods now, and nobody's going to want you. And I looked at him and I said, first of all, you were not in this conversation and you overheard what I was saying to this. I guess, I don't remember. I guess no, that's I feel like it was a female. And that's why I was like, why are you eavesdropping on my conversation with my girlfriend? Because it obviously had nothing to do with you. You're not a female. I'm not addressing you. And she and I are whispering, which means it's an intimate moment between us and you are not a part of it. And when he said that too, it was very jarring because I at that point hadn't told anybody except for my very best friend who was male, but he was like a brother to me, like for real, like a brother. I'm not using that and then saying I would take a naked shower with him because somebody recently said, so-and-so's like a sister to me. And we showered. And then like later in the conversation, they had showered naked together. And I was like, if my brother ever came anywhere close to me, partially nude, I would start vomiting on his physical self to get him away from me. Gross. I have brothers. I also don't like it when they fart on me. I don't like it when a boyfriend tries to do the Dutch oven thing because I'm like, you are suddenly not at all sexy to me. At all. At all. I have never really gone out of the way to tell a guy that, but like body functions like that, I feel like you should keep to yourself. And I'm not judging somebody because I know we all poop, we all fart, we all whatever. But even like I had a girlfriend who would burp loudly all the time. And it got to the point where I could not stand being in public with her because I felt like it was so incredibly rude and she should know better. And that's an etiquette thing. And that's how I was raised. So I'm not expecting other people to act that way. That's why I forgive and I say, moving on, Buster, please don't do that again. If it's something that was really that gross. You agree. You agree with the whole body function thing. I hope you, thank God. Cause I thought that I was maybe weird in that. Like I said to somebody, like my husband and I actually, he never farted in front of me except for once by accident. And he was so embarrassed that I hate that I even said that because, he was, which was funny because it didn't smell. And there was one time I farted, and I hope Keith does watch this. I farted and it smelled so bad. He ended up claiming it for me because I was so horribly embarrassed, but it was silent, but it was at a party and everybody like could tell that it was coming from our direction. And it was so embarrassing. I was really, really drunk. And anyway, I just shared the most embarrassing story of my life on YouTube. That's interesting. So anyway, because it's in the past and I'm over it at this point because I've literally pushed babies out of me or pulled babies out of me, pushed and then pulled. Babies in front of 12 people was Landon's delivery. Everybody up in there saw all kinds of things. And I punched my nurse on accident because I was hitting the bed. So he saw me at my absolute worst. Not only physically, I felt like I was dying. The baby and I were both dying. The baby. I mean, and that's at that moment, I remember I was like the baby. Like I stopped calling him Landon in my head. Like I remember as the PTSD moment set in where suddenly I made my own flesh and blood baby that I was so excited to have. Because it was killing me. And that's what your body naturally does, or your mind naturally does. When your body is experiencing that, you have to separate yourself from whatever it is that's hurting you. Because what was incredible is that suddenly I was able to push. And I sat there and I remember I was like, and Keith was like, he's coming, like, cause like he was like, they're gonna cut you open and like everything. And then suddenly it's like I got the fire inside of me to get it out. And I saw the head because I had a mirror and the hair was just like, oh my God, it's coming out now. And I was like, Ruh. And then I remember when he said, reach down and pull out your baby. I said, I can't. And to this day, I still, well, until just now, I never actually realized what the I can't was because at that point, I probably felt like it's not my baby. And that's probably why Dr. Baker is incredible. He's a fucking genius. Pulling my baby and saying that even. See, and I was never even aware. I wasn't even cognizant of the fact that he saved my relationship with my child by telling me to pull my baby out. Now, I pulled Olivia out too, and that's because I had to catch that bitch. She was flying. She was going to get a speeding ticket. I had to catch her. I remember I was like, there's a head. And they were like, don't push. I was like, I'm not. And I was like, man, she is like, woo. And so finally I was like, well, fuck it. And I just pulled her out and like held her. And I was like, and the doctor walked in. They were running. And I was like, I got her. And Keith was asleep on the couch. And I was like so proud of myself. I was like, I did want to do this alone in my bathtub because it was like, look what I made. It's like when boys are like, go look at my poop in the toilet. No, but I know you made it. Good job. You can relate to women. I agree. I never witnessed anyone give birth. That's awesome. Thank you, Thomas. So those were all the things he said. I agree. I've never witnessed anyone give birth, and that's awesome. Thank you. That is how I wanted you to feel with that story because all of those feelings are the way that I felt too. Except I was like, that was the first time I saw me give birth. And the second time, hi, Lars Mueller. I hope I said your name right. Hi. So I've been interviewing Thomas. I'm glad that somebody else joined the crew. Lars, if you would like to answer certain questions, you are welcome to do so as well. The way that I've set this up is I would like you to answer the question and then say to your question about blah, blah, blah. That way I can kind of keep track. That way, if anybody's watching this right now and they're like, actually, I do want to go back and answer that question, or I want to say something about childbirth that I think you're wrong about PTSD, blah, 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 please correct me on that as well, by the way. Some of these videos I do just for like shock value because I was trying to get viewers or whatever, and so I could monetize my channel. I already got permission to monetize it. Now I need to get more viewers and actually be substantive. So I would like to be substantive now and not drop a towel in order to get views, because that was a clickbait tactic that I knew, and I didn't want to go there, but I had to just to get permission to get it monetized. I had to, fill XYZ, and I did it. Yay for me. See, and so that yay for me had no emotion behind it. But Thomas, you got the... All right, so let's go back to the whole point of this. My thesis that I'm working on is not really a paper, but it might be. But I'm trying to understand love in a way that will help me as somebody who has experienced PTSD now with sex. How to love someone through the fact that they want to put their dick in me. I did not go about it the right way. I remember about 2 weeks after after I got violently raped, which I won't talk too much about the actual part. I think we lost Lars. After that part, because it says there's only one person watching now. No, we're back to 2. So after that happened, I remember somebody telling me that if you don't get back on the horse after falling off of a horse, that you won't ride again. So when I fell off of my horse, I got back on, even though everything in me was terrified, but I got more comfortable with it again. Bicycles, I never did. I still have terror when I get on a bicycle or even see my son. He's going to die. He's not going to die. You didn't die. Also, all you did was have plastic surgery, and you can't even tell now, except for all of my boyfriends tend to want to kiss right here because they see the scar, and it's like they want to kiss it, and they don't know that I have no feeling. Saddle up that bitch and ride. Yes. Unfortunately, Thomas, that is what I tried to do. Tried to get back on the horse and ride. I don't think that that was the right decision. What's funny is I don't remember that decision because I had to get blitzed just to be able to get my mind there. I did it, regret it, and during the middle of it, I kind of came to and was like, what the fuck are you doing, Robin? And I was like, ah! And I screamed, and I ran and hid in the bathroom, and it was very, very embarrassing for both of us. And he's probably traumatized from that, and I should probably apologize to him. So let's make a note of that. Thomas, please, since we're now Facebook friends, remind me. And be like, hey, did you apologize to that dude yet? And I'll be like, yes. Or... well, hopefully the answer will be yes after this afternoon. I just stabbed myself with a pencil. I have so many sticky notes, but none that are clean. I remember. Where did I move it? Oh, stupid. That's how I talk to myself, by the way, whether you're watching or not. And it's not healthy. I had broken that habit, but recently I've gotten back into it because I've been doing so many stupid things. So I'm not really sorry for it right now because I've been stupid this instance. I just forgot. I'm not stupid. Apologize and explain to blank about our unfortunate sexual, I hate saying that word out loud, encounter. I talk to myself, but only when I'm by myself. Yeah, see, so that's what's so weird about recording is that I feel like I'm by myself, but I'm not. And also, like, the only way to communicate with you is to announce it to the audience. So it's like teaching, I imagine. I did. I used to teach English class in 8th grade when we were diagramming sentences. Because I was only, like, the teacher finally gave me a marker and she was like, you do it, Robin. I've never gotten this. And you, for some reason, have gotten 100 on all this. Did you steal the teacher's manual? I remember I was like, no. I was like so hurt and offended suddenly. And she was like, good, teach it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I like got up and I was very, very excited. I still like diagramming sentences. I do it in my head while I speak sometimes. Sometimes I diagram after I said a sentence because I can tell that I said it wrong. I diagram it real quick and I'm like, and then sometimes if I'm with my family, I say the sentence completely over from start to finish. And then they're always like, you put a word in the wrong place, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah. They know me. They know me very well. My old family, my biological family, my little family, which is not my new family. My little family, one member did not know me very well. One member didn't know me too well yet, and one member is a reflection of my soul in perfect physical. There he is. And I love him. And he saved my life. And he changed me. And I changed him a million fucking times. And we grew together. And every day my soul cries a lot, missing my son. When I say it like that, it sounds like he's dead and it feels like it all the time, but it definitely sounded more real. So I'm trying to understand love because I have said a lot of hurtful things about my estranged husband, their father. I have said true things. I've never said a lie that I'm aware of. I've said exaggerations, to be sure. But the truth hurts a whole lot more when you have to be called out in public in front of people you do and don't know. And then there's a truth that you have to sit there and go, you bitch. And he did that to me. And it's not my place to do it back to him just for the fuck of it. Which for the most part, no. For some of the part, it has just been for my own spiteful, vengeful selfishness. There are people who watch my channel, by the way, Thomas, since you're the only one that I think is still watching. You've never been married, bachelor for life. Good. Good for you. I no longer will ever say, like, I used to, when women would be like, I don't want kids, I'd be like, why? And I'm like, I love babies. And then I became a mom and I'm like, I would have been on team you if I had known how much work this was. My mom, by the time I came around, and this is what she always likes to ignore, which I'm not talking shit about my mom, but when I came around, parenting was easy for that bitch. Hey, Robin, Andrew pooped. Got it. I wanted to change diaper. I wanted to be helpful. I wanted to be everything. I wanted not, and I don't have weird diaper issues because I actually hate poop. I sit there, this is the part I hate the most. But then there's a baby at the end. I love you. And I hugged him. And I would just sit there. And I remember Andrew always was very deadpan, even as a baby. Like, he would, like, look at me like, Landon has a very, like, thoughtful, pensive, But Landon would, like, he will, as soon as he sees your emotion get a little too intense, he just responds in kind. And Andrew was always very like, And it was a peaceful, like, I'm observing. And I've met a few men like that. I have not met many women that are just, I've met women who are, or I know better, or she thinks she knows, but I've not met very many. I'm just observing. And I am one of those women normally. Becoming a mother changed me. No, something else changed me. I feel like that was wrong. I feel like I just said a lie. I've always been but then I'll snap back into me and be like, oh, I got it. And I want to help. I have always been bipolar, but it's not real bipolar. It's a dichotomy within myself of the empirical minded, just observing, no opinions, no judgment, just observe. And then at the end, I feel like a lot of men will go, and then they will go off into their pensive thought process and never say a damn word about it. And women are left either, if you're married to them, you're like, oh, I love him. I don't know what the woman thinks, but then because it would drive me. What? You have nothing to say after all of that, and you just sat there silently. And then actually, I guess I did date. Yeah, I did date the strong, silent type. He was my lobster. Lobster's made for life. I'm pretty silent, not too strong though. Oh, I'm not strong. I'm strong for my size, but not. Hi, Cutie Ping Ping. That is a fun name. So, Thomas, your sister is bipolar. Is she medicated now? I like how I was supposed to be interviewing you, and I like you keep bringing me back to real life, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be asking you questions because I'm trying to understand love, but now I'm sitting here like realizing things as I say it out loud. You don't talk to her? Do you not talk to her because she's a difficult person to deal with? Or I guess what is your reason for not talking to her? Because see, and I already fucked that question up because I've led you into a response. She's a bitch. That's what, like, I wonder sometimes. So bipolar disorder, in my understanding of it, is a manic state and a depressive state. What's funny is when my psychiatrist, or the first psychiatrist I saw, the one I saw right after I tried to kill myself, he diagnosed me bipolar, but I knew he was wrong. He knew he was wrong because he knew me before. And he said, I think this is just residual. How did he say? I think this is just residual from the amount of drugs that you did to try to kill yourself, which is pretty impressive, and you're stupid. And I said, thank you. And he said, about which part, the impressive or the stupid? I said, both. He goes, no, you were stupid. Do not be thanking me for the impressive part. That was not a compliment. And I was like, noted. And, but I said, blah, 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 blah. And he said, I know you. I've met you before. I don't remember where, but I know that you were not like this when I met you. So prove me wrong. Take that bipolar and shove it in my face. But until then, take this. And I was really upset with him, and I screamed and blah, blah, blah. And then my boyfriend went in and shook his hand because I was no longer an angry bitch all the time. And then it resolved on its own. And I tapered off of the medicine. And I was, I was me. The best version of me I've ever been. The happiest version of me. And then, dun, dun, dun. But I'm here today. So the bitch part of bipolar, because if I present it as it, then maybe that was what was going on inside of my head. It's a need to express yourself and to get it out of you because you don't even like the thoughts that are in your own head. So get it the fuck out and then you deal with it. Does that sound kind of like a fair assessment of how it feels speaking to your sister? Like, why the fuck did she have to say that? Why would she even think that? Because to be honest with you, actually now I'm realizing the very cruel message that I received earlier, that's bipolar. That presents bipolar. Why would you even think some of those thoughts? Because they're not true. So you're projecting your opinion of somebody else on me. And just because you got them out of you doesn't mean that you're better or I'm better. You might feel better because you hurt me, but that doesn't make you well because that thought still crept up in your mind. You need to deal with the you that thought, even if it's an untrue thought. So that's what I call a stop bitch moment, which is funny that you called her a bitch. You'd say, I might be like curing bipolar right here. So, because this is how I did it for myself to get out of, but, and like he said, it was because of a chemical imbalance and my brain has always been at homeostasis. So it needed to level back out. So until then it was wobble, 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 still. And now I can be still while someone speaks and listen and okay. Oh, cool. Before I was like, oh my God, me too. And blah, 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 blah. See, so I wasn't being hateful. I was being manic as fuck, but I never went through depressive episodes. And that's why I was like, I know I'm not bipolar because I'm not depressed anymore. And he was like, I don't have anything else to diagnose you with. There's a condition called hypomanic, which I presented as too. And a lot of times I do present as hypomanic. Today, I had a migraine yesterday. I'm still having to like think thoughtfully of this spot in my head because it'll start to hurt. And I'm like, that's where the brain bleed was that caused the migraine. Oh, then it's not from my brain tumor. Damn it. I was hoping it was just from my brain tumor. And then I just was like, oh yeah, I need to go get my fucking MRI done. Anyway, I'm going to write that down too, Thomas. So I hope that what I just said to you helps you understand your sister a little bit better because hers isn't her fault. It's an imbalance that's built into her brain. That's what bipolar diagnoses. That's why it's important that your child be seen for mental illness early in life because you can tell that something's different. Now, for me, I got diagnosed right at the cusp at 19 years old with obsessive compulsive disorder. I actually don't have obsessive compulsive disorder. Holy shit, I just realized. I don't have obsessive compulsive disorder. I was later in life diagnosed by a clinician in England. And my boyfriend told me wrong. I was diagnosed narcissistic personality disorder. He told me altruistic. I thought it was altruistic. Maybe I was diagnosed altruistic. Oh, I was, excuse me, because I killed myself. There is a new disorder, altruistic personality disorder type, where you will sacrifice yourself to the well-being of others and purely for their benefit over and over and over and over until you actually end up dying. But here's the crux. I think it's supposed to be by accident. I committed suicide because I felt that I was going to give everybody on earth a mercy card and take care of the problem. And I was only dead for a second at most. I don't even know how it went. Mental illness runs in your family. That's it's actually, when I say chemical, I mean structural. People misconstrue mental illness as, and that's why I love it when people call me psycho. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm a crazy bitch. I'm not. I'm mentally ill. But thank you. I know what you're trying to say. Thank you. You're welcome. Yep. I have papers. Do you want to see them? Yeah. Okay. Because people will sit there and say it to me like, you crazy bitch. That's not going to correct me. Because calling me crazy just says, hey, Cancer. Hey, Cancer. Hi. Okay. Hey, Cancer. What? Okay, I'm not Cancer. I have cancer. By the way, I don't. But you see what I'm saying? You wouldn't go up onto an oncology unit and keep calling one of the people Cancer. Hey, leukemia, what's going on? Everybody be like, your family is really different, dealing with the pain. Cool. I have had to grow a show to deal with the fact that I'm mentally ill and get called psycho bitch all the time. Yeah, I'm psycho. Bye. Because a psycho bitch, in my opinion, is somebody who cannot keep their current emotional state in check, so they are likely to murder you out of rage. Mine is a chemical imbalance. It is something I live with and deal with. I know exactly what the fuck it is. I know exactly how the fuck to deal with it, which is usually by getting rid of people like you, who was ever calling me psycho bitch. Bye. Oh, look, I just dealt with all of my problems. There's never a dull moment. You like the crazy bitch. Oh, my God. All right. Well, we've already been going on too long. I need to go get some ice cream, and we're going to come back. If you're okay with it, if you're still just playing PS4 or whatever, I would like to talk to you about that too. And I'm going to write those questions down so I can get to the point a little bit faster, because this whole thing just blew my mind, and now I forgot what the fuck we talked about because I'm still talking. So I need to go deal with all the emotional things that I just said. Not even just emotional. Like, actually, what I just said, I feel like was really, really profound. Like, stop calling somebody who is like a serial killer, for instance. They're not acting on emotion. They are mentally ill. You don't need to send them to prison. You probably just need to send them to death row. That's my opinion right this second. And now I'm like rethinking that. But like, they're not. I mean, unless you can fix serial killer illness. I'm going to explain that when I come back, and then we're going to talk about the crazy bitch type, because then I think this will make more sense to me. I don't care if I'm making sense to anybody else, by the way. This is for me. So fuck you. Sorry, not you, Thomas. You're cool. My grandmother was sent to prison for murder. Oh. Did he get death penalty? Just out of curiosity. See, and that I'm sitting here with my curious face, but I don't know if I look judgy to you. But when I looked just now, I was like, I don't think I look judgy, because I'm not judging. At this point, I'm literally just, facts. He only spent 5 years. That surprises me. 5 years for murder. Was it murder? Or did they drop the charge? Because I know someone who spent 6 for criminal abduction. So he wasn't, but he actually was trying to kill the dude. It was back in the 70s. It was murder and a robbery. We're going to discuss that on a different day or a different video. But I am going to pause this now. I'm coming back, okay? Thank you for talking to me. I appreciate this, because I really don't like just sitting here ranting and raving. Because this helps me go in a different direction that's tangential but also productive. Because now I have a better relationship with you, the viewer, and a better relationship with all my viewers, I feel like, because now they're going to feel more open to answering questions because you have been so honest. So thank you, Thomas. Look at you. Don't start stalking me or anything. I'm only saying that not because it all seemed like a stalker, but like I feel the need to put that disclaimer. Please don't stalk me. That's not just to you, that's to everybody. Thank you. We're going to come right back.